Story 1. 0118999881999119725. The IT crowd emergency number for those who are not aware. I had to study for an exam the day I watched that episode, but I decided to remember that number instead. Story 2. Pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time. When pizza is on a bagel, you can eat pizza anytime. Story 3. Now, this is the story all about how my life got flipped and turned upside down. Story 4. Pi out to 25 decimal places. Because I might need to calculate the circumference of the solar system with an accuracy within 5 inches someday. Story 5. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joy has nuts, Mounds do not. Story 6. 4,011 bananas, 4,069 cabbage, 3,082 broccoli crowns, 4,044 peaches, and so on. Story 7. Ohio is the only United States state that contains none of the letters used in the word mackerel. Story 8. Jabberwocky. The poem from Through the Looking Glass. I did not memorize it deliberately, but I loved the books when I was a kid, and I read them often enough that Jabberwocky just stuck. Confession, I still love the books. I still have the copies my dad gave me when I was 7. Story 9. In less than an hour, aircraft from here will meet up with others from around the world, and we will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind. Mankind. That word should have new meaning for all of us today. We cannot be set aside by our petty differences anymore. Perhaps it is faith that today is the 4th of July, and we will once again be fighting for our freedom. Not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. We are fighting for our right to live, to exist. And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day that we declared in one voice. We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We are going to live on. We are going to survive. Today. Story 10. Back in 1991, our father challenged my brother and me to see how good our memories were, and we happened upon a taxi cab number. I still remember it to this day. I have never needed to call. Story 11. Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. My 5th grade teacher challenged us to memorize and recite the poem in front of the class for $100. I learned it but never recited it. Story 12. I live in Canada, but if I were ever in New York and was hurt in a car accident, I would call William Matter at 444 for 444. Story 13. Oh, homework. Oh, homework. I hate you, you stink. I wish I could wash you away in the sink. If only a bomb could blow you to bits. Oh, homework, you're giving me fits. I'd rather take baths with a man-eating shark, or wrestle a lion alone in the dark. Eat spinach or liver, pet 10 porcupines, then tackle the homework my teacher assigns. Oh, homework, you're last on my list. I can't simply see why you even exist. If you just disappear, it would tickle me pink. Oh, homework, I hate you, you stink. Jack Prelutsky. Memorized in 3rd grade. I'm in 46th grade now. Story 14. This is a test. This is a test of the emergency broadcast system. The broadcasters in your area, in voluntary cooperation with local, state, and federal authorities, have developed this system to keep you informed in the event of an emergency. If this had been an actual emergency, the attention signal you just heard would have been followed by news or official instructions. This station serves the metropolitan Boston area and all surrounding communities. This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system. Story 15. Best friend from grade school's home phone number. It has been over 35 years. Story 16. The Holy Hand Grenade scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Story 17. Tiki Tiki Tembo no sa rembo shari bari ruchi pip peri pembo. Story 18. A Boy Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Story 19. Hello, mother. Hello, father. Fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes really bother me. Thank you for the package. That is why I am writing. K9 Advantix quickly stopped all the biting. Swimming, hiking, and tent pitching. They are not biting. I am not itching. Cannot wait to show you all my new tricks. Thank you again for sending me K9 Advantix. Story 20. Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray. Hypodermic needles on the shore. China under martial law. Rock and roll, the Cola Wars. I cannot take it anymore. All of it. Story 21. My Blockbuster card number was used as my employee identification. I worked there in high school, and we had to type it into the computer every time we needed to do something. Story 22. I Can Play Mary Had a Little Lamb on a touch-tone phone. Story 23. During the 1970s and early 1980s, there was a surge of film strips designed to teach American school children the metric system. At the end of each one, the narrator delivered the same message about thinking in metric units rather than converting from the imperial system. For example, the narrator said, "It is not important to know that there are 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. After almost 50 years, I still remember that there are 2.54 centimeters in an inch." Story 24. The Prelude to the Canterbury Tales in Middle English. Edit. Apparently it is Middle English, not Old English. After all these years, it is taking up space in my brain that is keeping other things out. I still say that Dr. Carter was an amazing, crazy, but amazing high school English teacher. Story 25. My best friend's childhood home address and phone number. Her father was a police officer and had her memorize this song in case she was lost or taken. I memorized it too, so I would have been returned to my best friend's house instead of my own. Story 26. My high school locker combination from 1994 was 37-0-10. Story 27. All 50 states of the United States, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Story 28. The first 80 consecutive digits of pi. I was up to 250 when I was actively memorizing, but only about the first 80 have stuck with me. Edit. I do not care about downvotes, but I am curious to know why people do not like this. Story 29. I am the very model of a modern major general. I have information on vegetables, animals, and minerals. I know the kings of England and I quote the fights historical, from Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. I am very well acquainted too with matters mathematical. I understand equations, both the simple and quadratic. About the binomial theorem, I am teeming with a lot of news, with many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse. Story 30. HOMES is an acronym for remembering the names of the Great Lakes: Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. Story 31. From start to finish, the entire dialogue from the movies Wayne's World 1 and 2 and Desperado. Edit. I guess I could start the movie. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Extreme close-up. Excellent. Excellent extreme close-up. Now it's Wayne's World's totally amazing excellent discoveries. Our guest is Ron Paxton. Welcome to Wayne's World, Ron. Story 32. The blood code for Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis is A, B, A, C, A, B, B. Story 33. Part number for the remote control for a sharp cathode ray tube television, including defunct supplier prefix. Just for fun. OSRR-MCG0387GEZZ. Surely I could find a better use for that block of memory. But no. Story 34. Ms. Mary Mac, all dressed in black with silver buttons all down her back. Story 35. How to spell pneumonultramicroscopic silicovolcaniconiosis. I wanted to impress my parents a while ago. Story 36. When I was in 4th grade, I was bored during class, so I decided to see if I could use mathematics to figure out how many seconds were in a year. I think I might have asked my parents, and they did not know, so I took it upon myself. After some quick multiplication, I came to the answer, 3,171,600. I was so proud of myself that I interrupted my teacher. We had moved on to another subject, history or something. I do not know. I announced what I had done. He was so impressed that he stopped the lesson to applaud me. The rest of the class was so impressed they crowded around my desk to see my notes. I told my parents, who told our relatives. I had people bringing it up at family functions months later because everyone was impressed I had figured out there were 3,171,600 seconds in a year. The problem is that this is wrong. There are not 3,171,600 seconds in a year. There are 31,536,000 seconds in a year. I had to look it up just now because to this day, I do not remember the correct answer. I only remember 3,171,600 and the fact that nobody ever called me on it or checked my mathematics. Story 37. The Greek alphabet. I just thought memorizing lists was cool in junior high school. I memorized several poems, all the planets' moons, and part of the periodic table of elements. However, it took me a very long time to remember the times tables. Story 38. All 23 helping verbs. A 7th grade English teacher in 1987 told us to memorize them for homework. No one did. The next day she came into class, put a $100 bill on her desk, and said it's yours if you can tell me all 23. No one got it. I went home that night and memorized all 23, thinking she would do it again. 37 years later, they are still stuck in my brain. Story 39. This poem is from my high school English Regents exam about 10 years ago. I read it only once, answered 3 multiple-choice questions on it, and never saw it again. A flea and a fly were stuck in a flue. The flea said, "Let us fly." The fly said, "Let us flee." So they flew through a flaw in the flue. Story 40. Home is where you make it. You like to see homosexuals naked? Home is where you make it. You like to see homosexuals naked? That's cool, man. Whatever. No, 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 no. Home is where you make it. Home. Where you make it. Oh, everybody knows that. Damn boy. Guy likes to see homosexuals naked. That doesn't help me. We had a very limited number of DVDs at Grandma's house, and summer vacation is a long time when you can only watch Joe Dirt, Dude, Where's My Car, or My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Story 41. 19 times 17 equals 323. I do not know why, but this just pops into my head sometimes. Story 42. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, and ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. We had to memorize the whole preamble in 4th grade and recite it. I do not know why. We did not deconstruct its meaning or anything. We just had to know it by heart. I also know all 197 countries, the United States and their capitals, and most of the words to Albuquerque by Weird Al Yankovic. Story 43. Boston, Massachusetts. 02134. Send it to Zoom. Story 44. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of struggle and by opposing end them, to die to sleep, and by a sleep we say to end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die to sleep, perchance to dream. There's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come when we are shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time? It goes on, but yes. Story 45. Voila. In view, A humble vaudevillian veteran cast vicariously as both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. This visage, no mere veneer of vanity, is a vestige of the vox populi, now vacant and vanished. However, this valorous visitation of a bygone vexation stands vivified and has vowed to vanquish these venal, virulent vermin vanguarding vice and vouchsafing the violently vicious and voracious violation of volition. The only verdict is vengeance, a vendetta held as a votive, not in vain, for the value and veracity of such shall one day vindicate the vigilant and the virtuous. Verily, this vichyssoise of verbiage veers most verbose. So let me simply add that it is my very good honor to meet you, and you may call me Victor. Story 46. I need a double cheeseburger and hold the lettuce. Don't be fronting, son. No seeds on the bun. We are up in this drive-through order for two. I have a craving for a number 9, like my shoe. We need some chicken here in this place. For sure, my friend, extra salt on the fries. Dr. Pepper, my brother, another for your mother. Double supersize and don't forget the fries. Say crispy, crispy. Story 47. 'Twas Brillig and the Sliffy Toves. Did gyre and humble in the wabe. Memorized it in 7th grade for an assignment and it has stayed with me for 25 years. Story 48. The songs and prayers from church get stuck in my head all the time, and I have not been to church in 11 years. Story 49. Write to me, Stickly, P.O. Box 963, New York City, New York State, 10108. Story 50. 3 rings for the Elven Kings under the sky. Story 51. The full 16-digit number of a long-ago canceled credit card. Story 52. In the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories. Story 53. The Bible verse I chose for my 8th grade confirmation. Story 54. I remember the phone numbers from the houses I lived in since 3rd grade and my lines from a play in 4th grade. Story 55. The radius of the Earth to 3 decimal places is 6,378.135 kilometers. I used to do a lot of astrodynamics and orbit analysis work but have not done that work for over 30 years. Story 56. Possums are the only mammals with an odd number of nipples, which is 9. Story 57. This is the song that does not end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. You are welcome. Story 58. Religious prayers from childhood. Not even my own religion. The droning in my head. Story 59. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. All divided by 2a. Story 60. The preamble. No one cares about the United States Constitution. Not trying to be political given the current climate, but why were we forced to memorize it? No one has ever cared about the Constitution in that way. After 4th grade, no one has even said the word preamble to me, yet I still had to learn it word for whatever reason. Story 61. 9th grade biology, 34 years ago. Osmosis is the diffusion of water through a semi-permeable membrane. It has never come up, never appeared in a trivia question. Only when the topic of useless things memorized arises does it return. Story 62. I have memorized some old landline phone numbers from the 1990s, including my family's, my best friend's, and my grandmother's. I have also memorized poems and texts we had to recite in school, most of them in English, German, Czech, and Slovak. Over the years, I have been able to memorize completely random songs in various languages I do not even speak, such as Hebrew, Italian, and French. I can easily remember countless lyrics, which is considered my useless superpower. Story 63. Thumb the clip. Twist and pull the pin. Sneak a peek. Fragmentation, grenade out. And slap, pull, observe, release, tap, squeeze. Story 64. Some 40-year-old brain cells in my head won't forget that interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase are the 5 phases of mitosis. Story 65. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, and dependable. I can say it really fast. I mean super fast. It is impressive if I am being honest and humble. Story 66. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Story 67. The Articles of Faith from my Latter-day Saint upbringing. Thankfully, the scripture study is mostly over. Story 68. Animaniacs taught me all the capitals and states more than 20 years ago, and I never forgot. Story 69. Cars 4 Kids, donate your car today. It's my money and I need it now. Call JG Wentworth 877 cash now. You lint liquor. Late 1990s and early 2000s commercials. There will never be anything like them. Story 70. You are physically repulsive, intellectually impaired, morally reprehensible, vulgar, selfish, stupid. You have no taste, a poor sense of humor, and you smell. Story 71. An old coupon code for Domino's Pizza offered by one get one free. We got it from a school fundraiser coupon book that we purchased. They never asked for the physical coupon, and the code worked for 3 years. The number of free pizzas I got was impressive. Those were the days. 2 extra-large pizzas for the price of one went a long way. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.